This judge in the Eastern District of Virginia, William Fitzpatrick, he's looked at the grand jury record. He's also looked at evidence in the case against James Comey, and he's seeing some issues in it, issues that Comey's team will be able to grab onto and potentially run with to the point, Casey, where they can ask and maybe even succeed in having this case dismissed against the former FBI director. The main issue the judge raises is the possibility that tainted evidence that the Justice Department shouldn't have been able to use in September when they took this indictment of James Comey to a grand jury, that they shouldn't have been able to use that evidence. It could have spoiled things. That's one possibility. The other thing that is also potentially a really big issue for the Justice Department and specifically the prosecutor on this case, Lindsay Halligan, the interim U.S. attorney, is the possibility that the judge says Lindsay Halligan misled the grand jurors about the law, that she misstated to grand jurors that Comey may need to testify at his own trial in order to win the case, and also separately that she appears to have suggested that the Justice Department had better evidence than what the grand jury was seeing that they could show at trial. Both of those things could become fatal flaws for this case, although right now Comey's team doesn't have access to these grand jury transcripts. It's just this judge that's looked at them.
And Caitlin, what happens next? There's a hearing on Wednesday?
There is a hearing on Wednesday. That's about Donald Trump's tweets. Has that set up a situation that this case will need to be tossed? Was Comey selectively and vindictively prosecuted in the legal speak here? But this other issue that is bubbling up today before Judge Fitzpatrick, that is going to be hanging over the next couple days, including this afternoon. I'm curious what's going to happen even tonight. It's only 4:30. There is a situation where the Justice Department is fighting really hard, really fast to try to keep James Comey's team from getting access to these grand jury records. They've already gone back to the court and said, we want to stop this. We don't want him to have them, because once he gets them, then James Comey's team can start picking apart the same things that this magistrate judge has already looked at and then formally asked for the case to be dismissed. Some of those filings, if they do get access to these grand jury materials, some of these filings from the defense team would be due next week, right before Thanksgiving.
All right, Caitlin Polans, thanks very much for that reporting. Really appreciate it.
The Justice Department's case against James Comey in serious jeopardy this hour. A federal judge coming out and raising concerns that the whole case could be tainted by profound missteps and government misconduct by Trump's handpicked prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan. Halligan was, of course, Trump's personal attorney who had never prosecuted a case before her role with the Justice Department. The judge is now ordering the DOJ to turn over grand jury records. Ty Cobb is out front now. He is the former Trump White House lawyer. And Ty, always grateful for your time. So when you hear what the judge raised today in terms of the questions, do you think the DOJ's case against Comey is dead?
I do. I think it's dead for two reasons. First, I think it's dead because of the illegal appointment that is before another judge, Judge Curry. But Magistrate Judge Fitzpatrick's opinion today will be taught in law schools for 50 years as the epitome of prosecutorial misconduct.
So when you know, we know the reason of this could be, right, that the prosecutor who signed off on it was not actually formally and officially the prosecutor, and no one else did, and so the whole thing might go up in smoke. That's Lindsay Halligan. Is she specifically to blame for this case falling apart?
She, in large part, yes. But this opinion today is, I mean, it's really extraordinary. Misconduct at this level is, almost never seen. And the judge was not solely focused on Ms. Halligan, but focused on the FBI's wholesale abuse of the Fourth Amendment and their rummaging around in privileged information and mishandling of the privileged information. That alone would be a basis to exclude evidence, but it's also a basis, given how intentional it was, as the judge noted, given the fact that the FBI general counsel and the agent who went into the grand jury were both informed prior to the grand jury appearance that they had been exposed to serious privileged information, and they used that to shape their presentation to the grand jury. That's fundamentally wrong. But also on the Halligan point, her time in the grand jury is extraordinary. She told the grand jury basically that Comey didn't have a Fifth Amendment right at trial to refused to testify, and therefore he would be able to, give his explanation as to as to the events and counter the government's evidence, which the judge noted appropriately was burden shifting. And moreover, she told the grand jury in an extraordinary statement that not to worry about the record with which they had been presented because the government had better evidence at trial. That's like saying, please indict this person because we don't have time to indict innocent people. It's just way, way, way out of bounds. And frankly, it would be a basis to have her disbarred. And because Pam Bondi twice affirmed the legitimacy of